Assalamualaikum. Let us continue with our topic on introduction to law. We have seen the legal system of the world. We have seen the four legal systems, four types of legal system. Let us continue with the law in general. So first and foremost, we start off with the definition of law. What does it mean by law? So basically, law is rules and regulation. And Oxford English Dictionary define law as the body of enacted or customary rules recognized by a community as binding. And in the book of jurisprudence, Sir John Salmon define law as a body of principles recognized and applied by the state in the administration of justice. Now, this is just very basic definition. We move on to look at the next one. Definition by our federal constitution, whereby Article 160 of the federal constitution provides that law includes written law, common law in so far as it is in operation in the federation or any part thereof, and any custom or usage having the force of law in the federation of any part thereof. So law is a set of rules, regulation necessary to govern people in a community, state or nation. Now, Article 160 has defined law. So try to use this definition whenever you wanted to define law. Now, next you wanted to know, why do people obey the law? Why do people obey the law? But mostly because out of fear of punishment. They scared that if they don't follow the law, they will be punished. And then they felt bound to obey because of sanctions. Because of they have to follow. And then to arrange their affairs according to the law. So basically, this is only part of reasons. You can think of other reasons why people obey the law. And then how do law develops in the society? So law develops with the society needs and influence of history. Now, if you know the history of Malaysia, you will know that previously during the Malaccan Empire, during the British, Dutch, Portuguese, and so on and so forth, there are some influence of the customs, a little bit of the legal decisions like British common law decision. So basically, law developed eventually in a society because they are influenced by the religion, logic, sociology, philosophy, economics, trade, politics, industry, and invention. So this is how law evolved in our society. Now, when we look at definition of law, it's also best to look at the meaning of law from the perspective of juries. So basically, there are four juries. The first one is natural law juries from natural law school, positive juries from positive law school, sociological school juries or from sociological school, and last one is realist. Realist is something like very realistic. Okay, what is natural law juries? So this particular school of thoughts, their juror thinks that this theory basically emanated from religious belief. They said that there are laws and principles which are superior to man-made laws. So basically, they said that there are something higher, above than human nature, or above than the man-made regulation and all. So, and they feel that the purpose of the law is to serve the common good. So basically, they think that human beings are capable of rational, purposive actions, speech, and thoughts. So that's why they think that humans are capable of determining what is right and what is wrong. So you as a human, you know what you should do and what you should not do. So thus they think that natural law means the law of the nature, which is necessary to regulate man's behavior. So man here doesn't mean the man, it's actually both man and woman together. So basically, what do you know about law? You can discover those from the surrounding. So basically, they also believe that man is part of nature and has a role to play, because this nature inclines him towards certain ends to procreate, to protect his family, to ensure survival. So basically, this sort of law is actually more of the principles of human conduct. So basically, existence of law is set by human nature, which is based on what is correct. So morality and ethics. So to them, to these jurists, there is a universally accepted moral standard. So bad law is not law, even if it's made by the ruler. So they said that when the ruler made something which is a bad law, you should not follow. So a ruler which violates natural law has no right to be obeyed. That's what they think. And then law is not simply what is enacted by statute. So to them, if the law is not moral, then it's not law. So basically, you cannot follow. This is where Sir Thomas Aquinas viewed that the union with the God was the end with the law. So nature misled and corrupted man. To him, government, property, institution of man were product of sin. That is his view. And then he said that there is a duty to obey human law if it's founded on reasons. As long as the reason is acceptable, is okay. So unjust law does not bind conscience. So unless observance of them is required in order to avoid scandal. So if it's unjust, you shouldn't be following that. So unjust law is not law. Okay, so that is a scholar by Saint Thomas Aquinas. Another scholar, which is Cicero, he thinks that true law is the right reason agreement with nature. It is more of universal application, unchanging and everlasting. And then he said that it is summons to duty by its commands and averts from wrongdoing by its prohibition. So basically, if it's prohibited, you are not allowed to do it. Okay, so he also further said that it is a sin to try to alter this law, nor it is allowable to attempt to repeal any part of it, because that is nature. You cannot be freed from its obligation by the Senate of the people. That is Cicero. So there is also this sort of argument on the natural law jurists. This is very sacred. Yes, this is very to them is more of between human and God. That is natural law jurists. Next, we move on to look at the positive jurists. Okay, from positive law school, where positivists distinguish themselves from natural law lawyers or philosophers, because they studied the law as it was posited, laid down, and what not as it ought to be. So they really emphasize on the separation of law and morality. But I believe until to these slides, I'm sure you were thinking like, what is this all about? We are only talking about law. We are only talking about definition. So it's best actually to compare what does the naturalist believe and the positivist. So look at the natural law theories. They said that if a law is not moral, there is no obligation to obey. Compared to positivist says, until a duly enacted law is changed, it remains law. Whether it's good or it's bad, it should be obeyed. And then natural law theory says that the law is determined by our understanding of what we are or of our human nature. But then positivist says that law is determined simply by the will of the lawmaker. So who are the lawmaker? The legislature. So who are the legislature? The one which you elect them to sit in the parliament to make laws for you. Okay, and then to natural law theorists, something is forbidden because it is wrong, being unsuitable to human nature. Compared to positivists, something is wrong because it is forbidden. Okay, so there's a big difference between natural law jurists and positivists. Now, natural law jurists believe that positive law derived from its legitimacy from natural law, while positivists accepted that law is basically an addition or supplement to the natural law. These positivists, they agree to some extent on the natural law jurists' view, but they also feel that it is also extra than the natural law. Okay, so positivists regard law as a system of clearly defined rules. The law is defined by the social rules or practices that identify certain norms as law. Now our pandemic, whereby everybody must wear mask, right? And then so basically that is the new law now. Our normal or routine has been changed. So the law has been changed when we look at the social rules. But what if, just think to yourself, what happened and how do natural law jurists look at pandemic? Probably they think that God has created something, give to you. It is the God's belief that they can take you. They can take the disease back. But what about wearing mask? Is it something that natural law would approve? Okay, probably yes, but probably no, because probably they feel that wearing mask is not human nature. Compared to positivists, they feel that the law has to be changed because of the social rules. And then John Austin, he says that the hallmark of the legal rules lies in the manner of creation, where he defined law as the command of the sovereign body in the society, which may be a person, such as king, or body of officials, such as parliament. And these commands are backed by threats of sanctions to be applied in the event of disobedience. So basically what John Austin says is that law is something that the high authority tells you what can be done and what cannot be done. Okay, there's another jurist, which is H.L.A. Hart. Okay, to him, he thinks that laws are common of human being. Okay, however, it is also understood by the social, and then he also feel that law means a system of rules, a union of primary and secondary rules. So H.L.A. Hart argued that the law should be understood by a system of social rules. So what are these social rules? They are primary rules, which is the rules of conduct, and the secondary rules, which are the rules addressed to officials to administer the primary rules. Okay, so secondary rules can be further classified into rules of adjudication, meaning you can resolve legal disputes, and then rule of change, which allows the rules to be varied according to the situation, and then rules of recognition, which allows laws to be identified as valid. So H.L.A. Hart view on law is rather systematic and can be more accepted to our current situation now, not just during the pandemic, but our own country. And then he said that judge has no creative role to play. Okay, and he also said that judge is bound to apply the rules. So whenever a matter brought to the court, the judge has to follow the rules of law, follow the law. And then according to him, the system of law should be seen from top down rather than from the bottom. Now he gave